Peggy, if you can hear me, I think you might be on mute. So is Mary. Mary, you're also on mute.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Okay, I can, Peggy. Mary, you're still on mute.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, yes, okay. All right, I believe we've got everyone here, so we're going to go ahead and get our meeting started. And on your agenda, we actually had a 911 update first, but I think we'll go ahead with our bond issue. Since we have Shep Russell and Jason Hallscraft is here with us to talk to us about some of the paperwork that we have. And so if we could, Shep or Jason, I guess it would be Shep, would you kind of go over with us what we have in our packet and kind of explain it to the council?
Yes. Can you hear me okay?
Kind of an echo.
I'm sorry.
I can hear you.
Okay. And the documents in your package, the first thing is an ordinance that would authorize the issuance of bonds, and that would take council action to approve the ordinance for the bonds to be issued. So that's one document. The second is a bond purchase agreement. That's a contract between the city and Stevens. Stevens agrees to purchase the bonds. Third thing would be a preliminary official statement. That's what Stevens will be distributing to potential investors to look at, that will disclose material information about the city and the bond issue so that the investors can make a determination whether to buy the bonds at a certain rate. And then the last document is what we call a continuing disclosure agreement, which is requires an annual filing by the city with National Repository bondholders that own the bonds or people that might want to buy the bonds. The financial condition of the city is at the time. So that's just an overview of the four documents. And before I turn it over to Jason, what the plan would be Stevens would offer the bond next Monday, and the council hold the public hearing, assuming there wasn't any concern from the public, would take up the ordinance and adopt it on Monday night, waiving the readings. So that would be what the plan would be. Jason, you want to tell them a little about the proposed sale?
Yeah, thanks, Shep. As we discussed last time I was before you, everything is shaping up to look like a pretty successful bond offering. So the last we had looked at it, we're expecting an interest rate of around 2.5% for a 30-year bond issue. As Shep said, what our plan is next Monday is to go into the market first thing, probably around 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning, and run about an hour and a half to 2 hour order period. We have already had our sales force start pre-marketing the issue, start talking to investors, and we've had good feedback just in the few hours that we've already started those discussions. So be happy to answer any questions you have about the potential bond sale, but hopeful to have really good news for you next week when we come back before the council.
And if I could add, the ordinance right now has blanks in it because the blanks will be filled in based on the terms of the bond sale. And so that on Monday, we would file a final copy filling in the blanks. And that ordinance, I plan on being present at the meeting, but for those that aren't there, I'm guessing there's a way for the alderman to get final copies that afternoon so that you can see what how the blanks have been filled in.
Okay, does anyone have any questions for Jason or for Shep?
Yeah, you think that 2.5% that'll be right in the ballpark, or it won't vary much from that, will it?
We don't anticipate anything happening in the near term. over the last weeks, even this past week, we saw interest rates go down slightly. So there's no economic activities that we're aware of that would cause interest rates to rise. But obviously, we can't predict the future. But I would expect we're probably somewhere between 2.5% to 2.6%, somewhere in that range, based on today's interest rate market. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Any other questions about any of the paperwork or anything else? Any questions? All right, well, I guess.
Mayor, I've got one more. Just at that rate, let's just say at that rate, just approximately, what would our yearly bond payment be?
Yes, sir. It'll probably be around. It'll be about $350,000 to $360,000 a year. So it's pretty close to what we had talked about and what you've seen in prior meetings.
Okay.
But it'll be about that annually.
Okay, thanks.
Sure.
Anything else for Shep or Jason? Nobody? All right, Jason, Shep, we appreciate you dialing in. You're welcome to stay on the call, or, I guess we don't have any other questions. If we do, then after the meeting, if anyone or during the meeting, I'll be sure and email you tomorrow and get the answers. So thank y'all both for attending. Pardon?
Very good. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, Shep.
So we've got all the paperwork in here, and
I'm sure everybody's ready. Word for word.
for work. So, all right, well then we'll,
Well, you need to before you vote.
that.
I was gonna say, do we need a motion from the
Yes.
finance, or does it matter?
Well, she kind of put it on the agenda, but really, I guess it needs to go to the finance, I would think, since it is money. Would you not think, Wayne?
Yeah, we probably should
Yeah.
sit out here.
So-
motion to-
So moved.
Second.
So we have,
Second.
Aye.
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
she said aye. Okay, so to put on the agenda. Okay. Next, we've got the 911 call center update. David and I did go and talk to the judge. And David, do you want to give the update, or you want me to? Or
I'm good.
okay, if you want to.
Oh, you want me to? Okay.
Oh, you want me to? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. We actually went and visited with the judge about the 911, and we met with them and found out that the judge did feel like that they did not get complete, accurate information on what they thought the additional revenues would be for the 911. And so after discussing, and apparently they'd gotten back on the phone with the gentleman that I talked to, Mr. Gary, and so they kind of come to the conclusion that yes, there is going to be more money there. Now, this is what they told David and I. David kind of helped me because it's been a while and I didn't make notes, but we actually talked to them, and they actually had budgeted $172,000 this year to put into 911 for the center. What they told us is the way it works on the county side, once they put that in their budget and they approve it, they cannot spend that money for anything else, and it can't go back into the general fund at all. It has to be spent for 911. What they would like for the city council to do and the city to do is they would like for us to pay what we're paying this year, which is the $90,000. If there are any monies left over after we actually see how much we actually get this year for 911, then any monies that are left over could go towards the upgrades that are badly needed. It's been, 10 years or longer since anything had been upgraded, and they're telling us that $172,000 that they did appropriate, they cannot use it for anything else. So with our money to kind of kick in and see what's left, they would like to spend that on upgrades. So they are asking if we could at least do the $90,000, continue with that this year. If there's any money left over, it will be spent for upgrades. And then at that point, I've kind of took it, David, you can see what, but at that point of this year, after we truly see what 911 brings in, then at that point, we can kind of relook at things and see how much is left on all the upgrades that need to be done. And then at that time, kind of come up with a an amount that's fair.
I guess I understood it just a little different.
Did you?
I thought they wanted a 3-year contract to 2022 for the 90,000.
Maybe they did.
They
That's
asked,
what I'm saying.
they asked us what we wanted. We told them we wanted a board, an advisory board. They are willing to do that. It's illegal for us to have anything beyond an advisory board, from what I understood. It can't be the type of board it was before.
Well, and
From what
I will tell you,
understood.
I did also contact the Attorney General. She called me back at home one night, and they did research that, and they said that due to the new laws that came into effect, that is all we can have as an advisory board.
But they asked us to continue the 90,000. Mayor's right about everything she said.
Yeah,
But
they did say
they
3
did
years.
want,
I do remember
they
that.
wanted to have a contract until the mayor's term was up and the judge's term was up. And we would know all those numbers at that point and then make a new contract in 2022.
Well, you should know them, before 3 years. I like what the mayor said about pay the 90,000 this year and then see how the figures wash out at the end of the year.
There's one other bit of information too, is they were saying that all that new money is supposed to go to upgrades. Now, I don't know whether I didn't see any document saying that was accurate, but they said that that's what was his name, Gary?
Mr.
That you
Garrett,
talked
yeah.
to from the,
Things
what-
like-
911 board.
yes, told them that was to go to upgrades. And so that's what that extra money is for, is what they're saying. So there's a little bit of, maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but there is definitely more money coming. And what I assume that they would like to do is probably lower their budget next year. But they are going to ask us for more money for upgrades in the long run. We're going to have to pay more than 90,000 eventually for the upgrades. We're going to have to split it 3
Well,
ways.
How much money they take in, David?
I could barely hear
How
you.
much money?
Well, I gave everybody, as of the end of June, it was 268,000. And that was what came from what's called the PSAP, which is your cell phones. Then there's an additional 50,000 that comes, that's an estimate, but that's what they've been getting on landlines. And then they get an Act 442, which is about 12,000. And then also Rockport pays a portion. I do not have their figures in front of me. Y'all have all that from the previous meeting.
We already budgeted 90,000 for this year. Personally, I don't see it as, we thought we were going to be paying more than that, and we're getting an advisory board. I don't see a problem with making a contract for the same thing we were already going to do. Actually, it's going to be less money than what we were already going to do for just 2 more years to see.
But you might
know where the numbers are, and then
wait. Let's do 90,000 until we know what the numbers are. Let's just don't commit until we find out what the numbers are going to be.
I agree with you, Larry.
I don't necessarily see why they need a contract for 2 years if we're just going to continue paying the same. It's not like we've ever said that we were going to pay less
Right,
than
we
that.
don't.
I believe we're supposed to have a contract,
Yeah,
is what the
we're
problem
supposed
is.
to have a contract.
There's supposed to be a,
There's no contract there.
there's no
Yeah.
contract, and so
Oh,
we
I see.
have to have,
I see.
they're supposed, in fact, by their ordinance, they're supposed to have an advisory board, which they don't, by their own ordinance, and a contract, which they don't. They're missing 2 items that they need badly just to be legal. That's what I understood out of the meeting.
Yes, that's
Okay.
true. Yes.
Give them a 1-year contract for $90,000.
I just think it's ridiculous. I think we were already gonna pay that. We know we're gonna pay more than that, Larry. All I'm saying is it's
Oh, we don't.
not that much of a,
You got a crystal ball and you know what those figures are. You don't know that. They've already taken in over $250,000 halfway through the year.
okay, but to get to their upgrades, they're gonna have to take in, what was it, another 750,000?
Well, I
Or
asked
something?
them, do you remember, I asked them if they could get us some actual bids or figures on that so that we could look at that. So I don't think we're ready to necessarily vote on anything. I think I would like to see that's up to you,
I'm not
David.
trying to vote for that. I
But
just wanted
if-
them to know all the information that I knew.
Yes, I agree. But I think that we did ask that day for them to get us some bids on what it would cost. So as soon as he gets that, and I did not check with him, but I will check with him before Monday to see if he was able to get any.
The 90,000 is what we've got in the current budget.
Yes.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, I actually accounted for the other, but until this is all settled, you know, we got, yeah, it's
It's already budgeted.
It's already budgeted, yes, sir.
I have no problem with the 90,000 this year, but I just like to know what those figures are gonna be.
Okay.
You know, I mean, it's just common sense to me. I don't know. I may be
I
wrong.
understand, Larry. I'm just warning you, they're gonna ask us for more than 90,000 eventually.
And that's fine. If they can show on paper that.
As long as you understand that.
But do something then.
Well,
And they
I
need a contract.
personally think after this year, if they've already budgeted 172, we've budgeted 90, then they're gonna see exactly what they have, and then we can kind of see if they'll get us some estimates on what it'll cost. Maybe we can find out a little bit more information before we decide what to do personally, but whatever y'all think. But I'll try to get, I did not get with the judge today. I will get with him before Monday though and find out if they were able to get some bids on the upgrading of the equipment and report back to y'all. Are y'all good with that?
I am, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll work.
Okay. I guess that's all I've got for budget.
Yeah, you're right in it.
I'm telling you, I don't know what to do. It's getting worse. Is anybody having?
Anything else for finance? What about your audit?
I actually just got mine today, so we'll have to get you to approve it, but, I mean, I literally got mine in the mail today.
So we probably wait till next month.
I think we'll wait till next month, don't you think,
I'm
Phyllis?
sure everybody's already reviewed it.
Well, I did look through mine, but I'm not prepared to.
I
They told
tried
me
to,
it was good.
I mean, I've been
took
working
the
like 17
leftover.
hours. So
Yeah.
trying to read their comments. I was trying to look at like
Yeah.
Greek.
Yeah.
They go through that thing and they say things and then all of a sudden they say, this is not GAAP principles and therefore we can't comment. What kind of comment is that?
Believe me, we go through that for 6 months while they're doing all that. That's no shock.
I don't guess I've got anything for finance.
Okay, yeah, a motion to adjourn the finance committee.
Motion to adjourn finance.
Okay, I'm gonna call the agenda meeting to order. Item B, do I have a motion and a second to put the bond issue and the sales tax report that's in the packet on the agenda for next week?
I make a motion.
I have a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Okay, it's gonna be on the agenda, Mayor.
Okay, now we do have a resolution to condemn the property at 530 McHenry Street. And it really needs to be condemned, so we can tear that one down. That is the one that, the owner is deceased and one of the big trees fell on it. And so we really need to get that condemned so we can get that house down. It's dangerous, very dangerous.
Do I have a motion and a second?
Children
the-
seen going in and out of it.
Do I have a motion and a second to put the condemnation of 530 McHenry Street on the agenda for next Monday night? I make the motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, it's on there, Mayor. Do I have a motion or does anyone else got anything they want to put on the agenda? Any council member?
The fire department reports from last month that didn't get on, does that need to go on the agenda?
Well, it'll be included in all the
Okay.
reports. I think we're good, yeah.
Mayor, are there any citizens that watching that might want to appear?
I don't, let me make
Don't see anything
sure.
on there.
I don't see anybody.
John Ragland.
Okay,
Yeah, I don't see anybody.
I need a motion
I-
to adjourn. I need a motion to adjourn the agenda.
Make a motion to adjourn.
We're adjourned. Okay, Mayor.
Okay, I do have a couple of things. I was just gonna remind you that we will have a public hearing next Monday at 6:30, just very quickly before our regular meeting. So we put that in the paper. We've done everything we needed to do, and so that's going to be. The other thing, I did give the prison counts update, but since then I actually got a call from Warden Earl before I came tonight, and he said that we've really got good news out there. At this time, there's only 40 inmates that are active. There is 1,703 have recovered. As far as staff, there's 14 positive right now, and that was at one point in time 45, so there's 14 positive. And as of right now, there are 10 inmates that have passed away, but all those inmates are being verified. They're going back and doing some testing to make sure that, COVID was the reason on all of them. So I just wanted to give you that update because it sounded a lot better than the numbers that I had from Thursday.
Well, that explains why our county numbers dropped so much.
Yes, county numbers dropped.
What's the community number, Mayor?
Community number, the last one I got was at 41.
That's all of Hot Spring County, right?
Hot Spring County, yes, sir.
Okay.
But other than that, I really don't have anything, unless anybody's got anything for me. If you will, though, Chief Harper had a good point. If you will, when you get your department reports, be sure and look at them because we did include the couple that were missing from last month. So be sure and look over those closely.
It's already on there.
Oh, already
We
on there.
updated it from the
Phyllis,
next day.
Phyllis said they're already on there.
Mayor, do we
Yes.
have any updates on Popeyes or what's going on?
Well, actually, Cecilia's here, so I'll let her give you an update.
Sure. I got a letter from the Arkansas Natural Resources Commission, excuse me. We had a attempted meeting with Rockport last week. It was unsuccessful. Lasted about 5 minutes. So because we can't come to any agreements or talk with any resolution, the Natural Resources Commission has required us to submit our service plan areas on electronic maps, and they are going to set the service areas for Rockport and Malvern. And once they do that, if we are okay with the decision, that is it. If we are not okay with their decision, we appeal that to an administrative law judge. If we're not happy with an administrative law judge, we then appeal it to circuit court and so on. But they're going to take the ball and make the lines, and Rockport and Malvern will either agree or not agree, and either side can make an appeal. But after the meeting, I spoke with Mr. Costin and the mayor, and I'm preparing a lawsuit to file against Popeyes at this time. We're not moving forward with Rockport at this time because we need to see what the commission does. But I'm working on getting that together, and hopefully we'll get it filed by the end of the week. So.
Are they still paying their bill for the use of our
Yes.
system? Okay.
Their bill will be due on the 10th. So we will know on the 11th whether or not they're paying this month's bill.
You heard anything from Perla? What's going on out there?
But I want to know.
Nothing new on Perla. The Public Service Commission is still working on that transaction between Perla and Liberty.
Liberty's the one that's going
Yes.
to manage there.
Yes,
They're
Liberty
buying.
is
They're actually gonna buy.
purchasing it, but that must all go through Public Service Commission and their whole procedure because they are a large utility, and so everything is just current right now. They are paying their bill, so
That was my question. Thank you.
yes, they are not past due at this time on their new account.
And on Popeyes, they're still on Rockport sewer,
They are using Rockport Sewer right now.
and our pump is still operating.
Yes.
All right, you said on their new account, are they, do they owe us money on the old one?
Well, that's
Perla, yes.
How much
what the
they-
lawsuit's about.
I understand. I'm just curious about how much did we finally, where did it cut off? How much do they owe us?
I really can't recall.
I think it was right around 260, I think. right around there. Right around 260, I think
Well,
260.
didn't we
Yes, David.
I'm sorry, the final number was 225. 225,000 was the final number.
There he is.
I'm sorry, Mayor, I couldn't hear you. All them clowns in there.
Yeah, 225,000 is what David said was the final number.
Okay. And now, will this new company assume that debt? Is that part of the
It will be
purchase?
paid at closing.
That's what I thought. Okay, I just want to make sure I heard all that right before.
Yes, sir.
Okay, anything else from Cecilia? Also, I know that it's in your packet, but I also gave you paper copies of the sales tax. And I actually changed the report around a little bit so that you could include how much more on the 0.5 cent and the 1 cent that we got compared to last year. So look at that a little bit closer if you haven't already, because this format's changed just a little bit. But other than that, I don't. Yes,
Where
sir.
is that, Mayor? Where did you say
I
that
don't
was?
think that was in the
I
packet.
didn't get it either.
It's on, well, when you get off here, if you will, go look on your, it's on your,
Oh,
it's on your
our,
OneDrive, your iPad.
We do not have a hard copy of that in the packet, correct?
Okay, I'll make sure you get one for the next meet, for Monday's meeting. I thought she put it in there, but she did. I
Well, I
apologize.
don't know. It may be in.
But it is on your OneDrive, your iPad. Okay. Anything else from anybody? That's all I've got. All right,
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
have a motion.
Second.
Second, we're adjourned. Thank you.
Are we
We
doing
did.
the same thing?
Okay.